So anybody who thinks they are somebody is uploading videos to WWEToughEnough.com to audition for the next series of WWE's reality show Tough Enough, starting on June 23rd. You know, over the last couple of days, and especially of course since Triple H announced that the audition process was open, I've looked through YouTube, I've looked through social media at some of these videos, some of these audition tapes that have been uploaded to WWEToughEnough.com and shared on Facebook, on Twitter, on all kinds of social media and video online websites. Now, I understand that they are limited to 1 minute, and as I talk, I pass this 1 minute mark in my video. I'm not auditioning for Tough Enough, and I said I have seen a lot of these videos. Some are good. Some are quite okay. Some of them are obviously jokes, some intentionally, some unintentionally, and some of them are just plain awful. Now, let me be the one to break the bad news to people, that's no pun intended when it comes to WWE, and I applaud those who actually are going to audition. If I physically could, I would, but I'm not in a physical position due to my body to go and do a serious thing like Tough Enough. But you know what, I want to tell everybody that, you know, if you just going to the gym for a couple of weeks so your little muscles pop out doesn't make you the future of WWE. Just because you've got some arty kind of shaved head doesn't make you the future of professional wrestling or sports entertainment. You just have a parting in your hair, shaved into your pretty much bald head, or your little muscles popping out, it doesn't make you the future of WWE. It is not what is going to make WWE take notice of you, and it's not going to lead you anywhere. Like I said, I have seen some excellent auditions. Some people obviously have actually been on the independent circuit for several years, and there are a few people I've recognised kind of on these videos, and obviously a lot of them I don't. May wrestle in America on the independent scenes there, places maybe Kentucky, Louisiana, places that professional wrestling are, companies that there are at the shows that I have never been to, shows that I have never seen. So there may be some good talent there, so I've seen some good potential. But to be honest, that is not going to get you far in WWE or professional wrestling or the sports entertainment world as a whole. Well, I've seen quite a few videos of people who obviously do not have any experience, have never stepped inside a squared circle, who've never taken one lesson, attended one wrestling seminar with anybody, whether they're known names or not. That is what you must do. Just, you know, there is so many people these days who are famous just for being famous, because they have a famous relative, their sons or daughters of someone who is relatively famous, so they become famous themselves because they hang out, they get passes to all these big time events, most likely probably because they're not worth going to, because their relative just does not want to go to it, or it's not worth going to, and they hang around and they get to know various people, and just the supposed value of their last name gets them into various places. Their photograph is taken because they're related to somebody famous, but they've no talent, they're not known for anything because they've not done anything, so you know, they make millions off that. I suppose some may say, congratulations to them, well done to them if that's what you can do to make your money, to pay your bills. I'm sure that's fine. But I don't say that, because quite a lot of these so-called celebrities these days, they're famous for going around and, to be quite frankly, here, pissing about in bars and clubs, and they put it on TV. The program makes, if they're paying those guys thousands, they must be making a load of money, charging probably a load of money in advertising revenue. So they're famous for just their last name, their surname, for doing fuck all, really, to be honest, doing nothing. And when it comes to professional wrestling, that is not what's going to carry you. If you really want to audition, like you said, if you've got experience, if you're actually in training, or you continue your training, that's the thing. There's no such thing as a fully trained professional wrestler. I've spoken to many. I've listened to many on podcasts, in person, at wrestling seminars. I've listened to them. And there's never any such thing as a fully trained professional wrestler. Even if you've been going 20, 30 years, even if you're teaching the class, you can still learn something from the class themselves. So, you know, if you truly want to make it in professional wrestling or sports entertainment, whether it be WWE, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, or an independent circuit across Europe, across the world, what you truly need to do, if you have entered any such competition without any basic training, withdraw. Delete your video, exit quietly from the competition, and go seek out the training, go seek out the expertise. Go and hone your craft. Because what fads, and you know what, listening to the Midnight Express podcast on iTunes with Marty Jones, a British wrestling legend, and he has wrestled likes of Andre the Giant, Antonio Inoki, the Hearts, so many names all around the world, from Canada, Mexico, Japan, literally all across the world, including a long run in Germany where he lived and wrestled in the famous tournaments. He went around the world and he honed his craft, and you could hear it in the interview. He actually paid attention. He learned from the veterans, even learned from the youngsters. He still does, doing the wrestling seminars. That is what you need to do. You need to go out and you need to train, and you need to study as well. You need to study what it is you think you're doing. Not just yourself and the matches that you've had. If you can, get your hands on those videotapes, or take a camera, get somebody to videotape them. There's been numerous professional wrestlers, actually within the last 10-15 years. They used to give a camera to a fan at the ringside. Somebody perhaps even associated with the company, or somebody they know they could trust. They would hand them a video camera. They would say, please tape my match. Please follow the action as best you can. And then take the camera, watch their match back, time and time again, so they could see what they were doing wrong, what they were doing right, what the crowd's reaction was, the whole footage. Study it from beginning to end. That is what you need to do. You do not need to enter. To be honest, in my opinion, the future of WWE is not here, I believe, possibly within WWE Tough Enough or any such reality series. I think truly the future of WWE is possibly out there in the squared circle, an independent show somewhere, perhaps tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday night, whenever, sometime during the week, honing their craft, learning, paying attention, and being a real student of the game. And that has become a bit of a cliche now that Triple H uses that kind of language, being the cerebral assassin. But that is the future of professional wrestling. People who go and they study their craft, people who actually go out, and even if you're not booked to wrestle a show, if it's a local show, if it's a local good promotion with even possibly some good names, you go out, you actually attend that show, whether it's been hanging backstage, if you know the guys enough, or buying a ticket to see that show. You go and you pay attention, you study it. Even hell, if you do know the guys, you know, if they give you permission, again, take a video camera, videotape as much of the show as you can, and study the big names, study the decent names, the names that you know have got years of experience. Not this kind of reality show. Now, I'm not saying that they're possibly not, that they might just find a really good name. I know AJ Kirsch, who was in one of the previous series of Tough Enough, he's still at it at Hood Slam in America, in California. Hood Slam are putting on some great shows, some footage I've seen online. But certainly I don't believe the future of WWE and professional wrestling or sports entertainment is this kind of reality show series. I think the real thing that's going to get people who have auditioned for Tough Enough forward in their life and their career is studying the craft, genuinely studying the craft, honing their skills in the ring night after night, and as many times during the week as they can. Turn professional fully if you can. Only then you could be in a position to gain some years of experience. Then you can try and get to WWE or Impact Wrestling, or one of the various companies like Pro Wrestling Noah, or New Japan Pro Wrestling, or All Japan Pro Wrestling, or any of these companies, WXW, SWE, NWA, whatever companies are around the world. That is when you can get to a chance to go to these promotions and hone your craft, gain the legitimate experience that you will actually receive, that can further your life, further your career. The future for many of these people are not tough enough. It's unfortunate that WWE is kind of going down this route, opening it to everybody. I would like to have seen it open to actually working wrestlers around the world to get a better quality. Maybe perhaps some don't want to go down the WWE route. Some people are happy on the independent scene. But certainly, a lot of the auditions that I've seen, you're 97% of them, they're not going to make it. Are you tough enough? Probably not. But there are those who will be auditioning, who will be tough enough. That minute percentage will be tough enough. But any of those guys, or anybody auditioning for WWE Tough Enough, if you've not stepped foot in the ring at all, doing actual matches, forget about it. Go off, do something else, or go train, go gain experience. Whatever you need to do to get to that level. But seriously, if you're having fun with it, if it's a joke to you, then to be honest, I would say don't bother. Put up a jokey kind of audition style video if you want, but don't put it on WWEToughEnough.com. Some of them I have seen that are seemingly serious have been just god awful. But you genuinely, a video does not, just put up a video online, it's nothing special these days at all. I can do it, anybody can do it. But you know what, I would say if you really were serious about wanting to be the future of WWE, sports entertainment, or professional wrestling, which is making a huge comeback, and I mean actual wrestling, go out, gain experience, travel, do the damn job before you start even thinking about being the future of any company, never mind WWE. So are you tough enough? No, probably not.